Okay, hi everyone at the computers and televisions at home. It's Mo coming to you from Session Music here in Frankfurt, and we're actually at the Fundamental Studios in Frankfurt, and we want to give you a quick overview of what SE Electronics, a manufacturer from England and also China, has in stock for this year's, well, holiday season, I suppose. And with me today is Andy Munro, the, well, I would say lead designer for the new SE Electronics, the Egg. It's a compact monitoring system, and we just heard from Andy that, well, they spent quite a lot of time developing it, and there is something specific and something special about the monitors that no one else has ever done before. And first of all, thank you, Andy, for having me. And could you quickly summarize what you just, well, told us in about, I think, 1 hour, pretty much, about the monitors that is, well, separating from the big rest?
Sure thing. Well, we did some fundamental research for this project, going back to the 1950s, and we found that the ideal shape for a loudspeaker cabinet is actually a perfect sphere, or the best thing next to that is an egg shape. And there's something very natural about an egg shape, and it has a certain sort of, not exactly an organic property, but there's definitely something about it which is special. And the idea basically that the sound flows around the speaker, it doesn't fall off the edge. Because with a conventional speaker, every time the sound reaches the edge of the cabinet, it drops off and causes quite a big discontinuity in the frequency spectrum, the smoothness of the spectrum. Whereas an egg shape doesn't do that, it's basically an infinite baffle. And also, it does something on the inside as well. Because there aren't any parallel surfaces inside the cabinet, you don't get any of the natural reflections or standing waves or eigentones, as they're called, bouncing back onto the speaker, which also colours the sound, changes it. So the result, and it came as a bit of a surprise really, was a totally natural sound. It was almost like the speaker disappeared and all you heard was the original sound, which is really what a monitor should do.
So basically the egg shape is not something just for marketing and visual purposes, it's actually forming the sound of the speaker itself.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, we wouldn't have done this for marketing reasons, it cost too much. Just to build a prototype. Okay,
so as we heard, most of the speakers are boxes and they have the amplifiers built in, and as we have just seen, there is something different about that as well with the eggs, because they're active in a way, but the amps are not built in. Why is that?
Basically, it would have compromised the egg concept too much. If you make a perfect cabinet and it's got the right shape and it's got the right internal volume and resonances, if you put an amplifier inside, it ruins everything. So we had to have an external amplifier, but it is a totally integrated system.
So you basically buy the amp and the speakers together?
Yes, one will not work without the other, and vice versa. And even the cable is matched between the amplifier and the loudspeaker, so it's an impedance-matched multi-core cable. There are 4 cables in each speaker cable, and that's matching and bi-amplifying the whole system. So there are 4 power amplifiers in each system.
So what would you say, there is a price point to these speakers, but they actually, I've heard them sound more expensive than they actually are. And what do we have to expect from the speakers? Do they stack up with larger systems? Because I've seen like 8-inch, 12-inch, 15-inch systems that you built yourself for the Wu-Tang Clan, which are just bigger than myself actually. And do they reach that kind of precision and dynamics that these bigger systems do?
Oh yes, there's no question. The whole idea of these speakers basically is that they're near field, so you're working at a small distance, 1 to 1.5 meters. With a larger system, working at say 3 or 4 meters, you need far more power. It works on a squared basis, so instead of needing 4 times more power, you need 8 times more power for a big system. So that's why you need the big drivers. The whole idea of this system is that you're relatively close to it. To create the kind of professional sound levels that people expect in studios. But if you're using it at home, say, as a hi-fi system, and it does sound very good as a hi-fi system, then you don't need that kind of sound level. So it works quite well at a distance, say, of 3 meters as a home system. But as a studio system, it's specifically designed to work at a distance of between 1 and 1.5 meters. The whole design is done that way.
All right, so I think we've heard most of the important facts about the SE Electronic, the eggs, and thank you, Andy Munro, for coming out, and I hope to get to enjoy the eggs in the near future. I think they're going to be shipping in the middle of December, I think.
Yeah. Well, they're shipping already, but they're already sold. So,
well, I haven't heard them too much by now, but I hope that will change when we get them to our store, to Session Music, and make sure to check them out yourself, because I think they're worth a listen. And from someone who built one of the biggest systems I've ever seen, not heard yet, but I think it will blow me away. That's an interesting concept, and well, make sure to check it out. Thank you, and I think we'll be hearing from SE and Andy Munro in the future again.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.